Hello, everybody. This is Serena Michaelis. And before I get started, this does not work at all. Do not waste your money on this product. I've bombed my house with this products like 3 times, and I couldn't breathe, but my bed was still crawling with bed bugs. My bed was just still crawling all over with the bed bugs, and it's just a piece of junk. But I mean, not so much anymore. I did find a product that's worked. It's like Harris bed bug powder. I just put some bed bug powder all around the bed, and that actually seems to work. I mean, I have fewer bed bites, so I don't need to wear long sleeves anymore. I mean, no more bites, which is great. So, anyway, I've thought about doing book reviews before on my channel. Like I'm thinking about doing a book review on Dorian Gray, and I don't know if you guys would be interested in this or not, but I have quite a bit to say on this, so some of you might get very offended. So if you get offended very easily, then this is not the video for you. You may want to go somewhere else if you get offended easily. So this is your trigger warning. But anyway, I want to get to this part, which is like 50% into the book on my Kindle, in my Kindle. And it says, Dorian is speaking. You come down here to console me. That is charming of you. You find me console, and you are furious. And I would say that it's a lot more complicated than that. I think it's a lot more complicated. Like, yes, Basil came to console him, dare, and found him consoled, and he's really, really angry, but I think there's more to the picture. Okay, in the book, Syllable Vane, a woman that he loved more than anything, they loved each other. I mean, well, actually, I don't think Dorian Gray was ever in love with her, but he, loved her. She loved him with all her heart. Both loved each other, and she killed herself. And in the book, this was yesterday, and he doesn't give a damn. He doesn't care. He's like, I'm just gonna go to the opera, and she is an actress. She's an actress. She does opera, and it's not so much. It's that he doesn't care. That's the problem. The problem is that Dorian Gray doesn't care. It's kind of a lot like, it's one thing to be a lot like, oh yeah, okay, like, it's kind of like this. In 2015, my sister died, not by suicide, but by a rare illness. She had essential thrombocythemia. And, she died. And it wasn't like, I was celebrating and having a good time, when my sister just died. And, there's a huge, age difference between us. She was like 7 years older than me, and hardly ever saw her, but, I was like, she died, let me just go, like, woo-hoo, though, I mean, I did grieve in a very unusual way, though. I grieved through a personality change. So, I mean, I did grieve. Really, that's odd, isn't it? I suppose, where instead of crying all day, your personality just changes dramatically. I guess that's a bit unusual. It is what it is. But, we all grieve our own different ways. But, Dorian, he just, this person loved him a lot, and they were in a relationship, and he's just out celebrating. And that's the problematic part. That's the parts that's a real problem. It's one thing, when somebody's there and it's like, come on, cheer up. And you're like, okay, I'm working through it, and this person is there. But it's another thing to just be a lot like, to act like you never cared at all. And the way he acts, it almost seems like his picture is psychic, because there was a cruel joy in his picture, a cruel joy. But, now that I'm 50% into the book, he seems happy that she's dead. It's like, oh, she dies a heroine. It's great that she dies. It's like a cruel joy. And, it's one thing to be a lot like, like I was sad and somebody gave me all the comforts I need to pick myself up. And it's another thing to seem to be celebrating, a person's death. And for me, I'm against that. Maybe if they wronged you, like if somebody did something terrible to you, then it's understandable. But it's kind of a lot like, even when Saddam Hussein died or whatever, I remember, like, I don't know, Obama was president, and I think it was Saddam Hussein that died. I think it was him. And then you saw a bunch of Americans celebrating the guy's death. And, not all of them were affected by, like, not even like to a second degree or a third degree, were they affected by the Twin Towers attack. And I think that this is probably a partial origin to white guilt, where, you probably mistreated all Muslims because of Saddam Hussein. And then now there's people feeling white guilt, where they're kind of a lot like, we need to, give all black people reparations, and we need to put all the Muslims in powerful positions. And it's kind of a lot like you probably feel bad because you just weren't affected at all by the, attack. Like the reason why I didn't celebrate the attack is because I wasn't affected. None of my relatives died. I didn't have a friend that died. Nobody I was vaguely or remotely close to died. Like I could see somebody close to died. It's kind of like they've been avenged, but it's like it's nobody in my circle, nobody I vaguely know. So it just seems like a pointless thing to celebrate, especially since, I mean, even the people celebrating, you didn't even kill him yourself. You didn't kill him. You didn't. To me, it's a type of vanity. It's a type of narcissism. You didn't kill Saddam Hussein, and I think that this is possibly why there is white guilt. Why there is white guilt, because those people They probably mistreated different Muslims. They probably TP'd a Muslim's house. They're like, yeah, yeah. But me, I believe, in having some level, some degree of emotional self control. You know, did you kill Saddam Hussein yourself? If no, then why are you celebrating as if you killed him? You didn't kill him for the people. You didn't participate, so that's narcissism. None of your family and friends died, so you weren't affected. So it just seems like a pointless thing to celebrate it. It just seems like a waste of time. You know, yeah. But I can't think of anything else to say, but cause I mean, I have thought about going through the whole entire book, but yeah, it just stuck out to me. It's like he's not furious because you've been consoled. He's furious because you're celebrating her death. You just seem so heartless about the thing. Oh, what I was gonna say earlier. I don't think he was ever in love with her. He seems to be in love with her acting, but being in love with her acting is not the exact same thing as being in love with her. And I think we've long been came to the point where people confuse a crush with being in love, or an infatuation with being in love. Because when it comes to a crush or an infatuation, with whatever you want to call it, it's strong, it's intense, and because it's strong and very intense, it feels like it's going to last forever, but it really lasts for a short period of time. When usually love signifies a type of permanence, like a mother's love for her child. A mother would typically love her child forever. You would always love your child. So love signifies permanence, like you would always love your mother. But an infatuation or a crush is really strong, it's really intense, it's really like, yeah, but it's so, it doesn't last very long. And they really didn't know anything about each other. He was in love with her acting. That's what he loved. He loved her acting. He didn't love her. So, in a sense, he kind of led her on. And she didn't kill herself. She was rather young, 17 years old. And the very first person she loved, was really cruel to her. But given that they knew absolutely nothing about each other, I wouldn't even call it real love. I would have called it a crush, actually. So, yeah, I mean, still, it's complicated. It's really, really complicated, but, if you want to, I could go through, more of the book. I did highlight things that I wanted to talk about, but, I just feel like, I feel like talking about this because it just makes me think of politics a bit. I do think that people say things convincing enough to mislead people when really there is a whole bigger picture. And the bigger picture is, yes, he wants to console you, but you're like out having a good time. When really, it's like you act like you didn't care at all. You're just being rather heartless and vicious with it. It's like a cruel pleasure, like you wanted her dead. It's almost like she killed your family. It's kind of a lot like, and really people, when they trying to console you, what they really want is to mitigate your pain. They want your pain to be less intense. They don't exactly expect you to celebrate and act like you never cared at all. You're kind of like at the opposite extreme. That's the problem. And I do think that politics works the same way when you like look at Salon or Slate, where it could be a bit misleading when it's kind of like, well, there's more to the story. There's a bigger picture that you're ignoring. And, Salon, Slate ignores much bigger picture, and that's the reason why you see feminists and SJWs acting like total huge colossal jerks. It's because there's bigger picture that you're missing. Anyway, this has been Random Michaelis. I hope you like this video. If you do, like, comment, subscribe, and, if you really like this video, share it everywhere, recommend it to all your friends. I mean, would you like for me to talk more about the picture of Dorian Gray? Would you like for me to talk about Gallows Hill? Gallows Hill, 3 out of 5, 3 out of 5 is just, or, do you want me to talk about Alice's adventures in Wonderland? Do you like me talking about books? I would like to know about this. And if you do, please, mention this in the comments. Take care, y'all. Bye.